when the mind becomes clear and the heart becomes pure, then can the self be known. The first reading I want to do, the excerpt, is from one of Sri Brahmananda's papers entitled, Get the Answer from Your Own Soul. And earlier, Karan and I were talking about the tendency, once a guru leaves his body, the tendency for many people is to go in search of another guru so that you have that physical contact. But Gurji was saying, you meet the physical guru so that that guru can push you in to your inner guru. He's not pushing you to another guru. He's not even trying to hold you to himself. He's trying to remind us that we should get the answer from our own soul, our own self. We need the guru outside to give us a push, and we need the inner guru to give us a tug, a pull. But many times, if you're left to your own devices, you're surprised how clearly and quickly an answer does come when you don't have anyone that you can depend upon. So this is what Sri Brahmananda says, an excerpt from that essay, Get the Answer from Your Own Soul, an essay written in 1965, and you'll see how powerfully it reaches your own heart with your own questions. I'm sorry my voice is the way it is. My voice is very conducive to sleeping. And it's very seldom that there are fewer than 10 people who fall asleep within 10 minutes of my talking. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I was born with this voice. I sometimes fall asleep listening to it. So I'll try to make it a little more strident. This is what Sri Brahmananda says. In reality, there is no compromise between spirit and nature, or between the state of freedom and the state of want, state of need. In reality, and my son, when he was very young, he was 6.5 when he met Sri Brahmananda, but when he was about 10, 12, he said, you know, Mother, even if you read one sentence of Dr. Mishra's, he was then Dr. Mishra, that could keep you busy for a whole week. So sometimes I have to reread a sentence because they're so powerful. And he's telling us, in reality, there's no compromise between spirit and nature, or between the state of freedom and the state of want. For once man's personality is integrated, then man experiences the mastery of his soul over nature. Nature means those things that are happening in the manifested world. Sometimes we feel so helpless before the forces of destiny. Do you ever feel that your fate has taken over and there's nothing you can do? Or that you tried so hard and yet, no matter what you did, nature had its own planning. Is this true? This is what he's talking about. And he's saying, once our personality is integrated, then we experience the mastery of our soul over nature, or over Prakriti, which is supreme energy. Man experiences freedom's victory over necessity. Freedom's victory over necessity. That means what? You shouldn't let me do all the work. I'm an old lady. Not really. I've got more energy now than I had at your age. But I want you to do some inner work. What does that mean? That once our personality is integrated, then we experience the mastery of our soul over nature. We experience freedom's victory over necessity. That's a statement of an enlightened being. What do you think it means? I don't ever call on anyone, so don't shake. But and no one's wrong in this group. Whatever you say, I say, you're right. But we have to go a little further. You're right, but something more. What does that mean? Yeah.
It's like you're conquering your attachments. You have the freedom over what you deem necessary.
Excellent answer. That our attachments are not only to people. Is it Steve?
Yes.
I'm glad I remembered that. Steve is saying our attachments are not only for people. It's to our professions. It's to our sensual enjoyments. Those are our attachments, sensual enjoyments. A lot of people, in spite of their suffering, in spite of their bodies getting so old that just to get out of bed in the morning is cruel, it's a hardship. But they still don't want to die because they love nature. Their whole pleasure is because of the beauty of what nature provides. But Steve is saying even those attachments get in the way of our natural freedom. Right? Over the things we think. Very interesting way Steve put it. Not over our needs, but what we think are our needs. We don't know. We really don't have any needs. It's only our mind that imagines it has needs. A very great teacher, guru, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, whose talks are in a book, famous book called I Am That, was often asked, how can I help people? I want to help them live a fuller life, a life of quality. And these were the reformers, the social workers and the so-called do-gooders who really felt they wanted to help humanity. So either he would say, you want to help people? Then stay away from them. Because he thought that they were full of ignorance and would only infect them with their ignorance. But sometimes he answered, he said, the best way to help man, and I love this answer, the best way to help man is by convincing man or convincing others that they're not in need of any help. Why do we think we need help? We need help to get a job, we need help for food, but help to find truth, help to rid ourselves of suffering? No. How to help? Yeah, we need that. But so many of us are desperate to find the truth of our lives. Where are we looking? Gurdjieff said the best book is the book of life. Watch your own lives. Take the signs, the hints from your own life. It's the best book. If there were no teachers around, we've all had teachers of a lifetime. And so we have a lot of our own knowledge within us. But if we never meet a physical guru, we can find that guru and all the answers we need through meditation, in the silence. Transformation occurs when the mind is quiet, not when the mind is busy trying to analyze and figure out everything. It's like, you're asking the mind that got us into trouble in the first place to please solve the problem that it created. Doesn't make sense. By means of meditation, one does not crush or destroy the operation of nature. Listen, because that's a very interesting statement. By means of meditation, We don't crush or destroy the movement or operation of nature. We don't change or destroy our destiny. But by man's realization or awareness of spirit or self, he or she is then able to divinize the movements or apparatus of nature. By means of meditation, we don't change, crush, or destroy the operation of nature or fate or destiny. However, by our realization, our awareness of spirit or self, supreme self, we're able to spiritualize or divinize the movements or apparatus of nature. And in this way, man removes the barricades from the operation of nature, so that the soul can operate in nature, without any hindrance. What are some of the barricades that are up now? Barricades that we need to remove so that nature can operate properly. What are some of the barricades? Yeah, do you have?
Doubt and worry.
Oh, you've got good ones.
Yeah, well,
Doubt and worry, and I don't know how good they are. They're pretty bad.
fear.
And Andrea said doubt, fear. Doubt is a big one, because if you get into any of the scriptures, you find that one of the greatest impediments is our doubt that there does exist a power that we can tap into any time through meditation. We have such a fear of the unknown. When the meditation gets too, too shaky, and you don't feel any anchors, and you don't feel any solid hold, that's when meditation is the best. But the minute we get close to feeling a loss of what? Control. A loss of control, we get scared, and that's when we end the meditation, or we stay with some system of meditation that keeps us grounded. That's a horrible place to be, grounded. You want to fly in the blue sky. The gurus, the teachers, all of them, the masters, always ask, how come we're not afraid to go into deep sleep? Every night. We don't care. We may never wake up, but we don't care. We lose total control when we're in deep sleep, right? We don't know if we'll ever wake up. That we don't worry about. But in meditation, the minute we feel we don't have any boundaries, we don't have anything to hold on to, the meditation instruction that we heard from Sri Brahmananda was, drop all memory. Through meditation, go beyond your name, your form, time, and space. And we said, what? What? Go beyond everything we know? But there was something in his voice that kind of indicated, you better, or you'll always be stuck where you are. It was a transmission of power, a transmission of courage that came. We didn't even know that was happening, but we found ourselves trusting that voice of light, that voice of love, saying, come on, jump in the water. I've showed you the movements. Now jump in the water. Take a chance. Never lost anybody yet, he'd say. Come on, jump in with me. He'd say something worse. I say jump into the pool, we'll swim, we'll do. I don't know how to swim, but I say jump in the ocean of consciousness. He said, come on, don't be afraid. Jump on my rocket ship. But once you're on, you can't get out. No doors on this ship. Only doors to come on, no doors to get off. I will take you directly to your destination. And we said, oh, we gulped once. We said, okay, ready to go, sir. And once you gave that permission, once you removed the impediment, impediments, the blockages that the mind, Andrea was saying, the mind sets up doubts. The mind sets up fears, fear of losing control. So he says, listen again, by man's realization or awareness of spirit, that there is self, something beyond, more powerful than this body, than this mind, than this earthly existence. By this realization, man is then able to spiritualize or divinize the movements or apparatus of nature. That means that everything that happens we see as divine. We see as nature's calling to us. Whether it's a bad happening, something that wakes us up, like a nightmare will wake us up, we suddenly realize, I don't want too much contentment, because I tend to sleep. I tend to go back to old habits. I need a little excitement, a little challenge. I need somebody who said he loved me to just up and disappear. I need that. I had a beautiful woman come about 2 years ago to the afternoon program, and she was in terrible condition because her husband, unexpectedly giving no warning of 25 years, left a note. I won't tell you the sordid details, but you can imagine. He was leaving. And not only he was leaving, he left. He left. He said, I won't be in touch for a while. But she had given no sign of this. And so all she could do that afternoon was cry and cry and cry when she tried to tell me about it, what her problem is. And I don't know, I said a few things, I don't remember what. And she kind of swallowed her sobs. And she heard a couple of things because she came back the next Saturday looking better. And I was talking about the Vedanta psychology, Yoga Vedanta. And about, I don't know, she kept coming every Saturday in the afternoon. And about 6 months went by, and she came in radiant. I said, did you meet somebody? No. I said, did you get a new job? No. I said, well, what is it? She said, I just woke up this morning and realized how great it is to be free of him. I said, it took 6 months? Yeah. I said, so the thing that made you miserable 6 months ago is the very same thing that's making you happy, that he left. She says, isn't that something? It certainly is. So when Gurdjieff says, as he just did, in this way, when we can divinize the movements or the happenings of nature, of life, of the world, we can make everything as a gift to us, as something custom designed to wake us up to our innate freedom, as Steve was saying. And then he says, in this way, we remove the barricades from nature's workings, nature's operation, so that the soul can be in it and operate in it without any hindrance, that we can work with nature, cooperate with the signs we receive to find out what they really mean, not to let the mind go into interpretation or analysis, because what does that know? You know, you can't trust your mind, can you? She says, no. And all of you agree, cannot trust it. The best things that have happened to us happened when we didn't plan for them. They came unexpectedly, without any analysis, calculating. They came as a surprise. But that's nature's working. Nature loves to surprise us, as you'll hear from the next reading. And then Gurdjieff finishes that paragraph by saying, realizing who I am, what my natural power is. Realization is the key to freedom. Nothing else. To realize, remember, was it Martin Luther King? The truth shall set you free. It's the same thing. But Vedantic truth is a little different from other truth. Vedantic truth is we were free to begin with. We are free always. But what we need is freedom from the conditioned ego mind. We need freedom from that. Not from the mind that is clear, that we use to function in the world, but that other one, to which we're a servant or a slave. We have to have, as he said, mastery over that. And Gurdjieff says, he gives you instruction, gives me, meditate constantly. He doesn't mean like this. He means live in a meditative state of mind. Live not in a New York state of mind, but in a meditative state of mind. New York state of mind is for type A personality. We don't want to do that. There's a lovely song, I'm in a New York state of mind. I don't want that. I don't want it for myself nor for you. Sometimes, once in a while. If you love New York, you know what is meant by that song. But this is a state of mind that's always available to us. So you can appreciate not only New York, but even Philadelphia. How many of you know what's on W.C. Fields' gravestone? Anybody know? No? How many of you know W.C. Fields? Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you for television. On his gravestone, it says, "Better here than in Philadelphia." Nothing wrong with Philadelphia. Our son went to school for a while in Philadelphia. But everything closes at 9 o'clock there. It's not New York. So let's see. I just said I don't have much time, and here I am making jokes. Gurdjieff says, meditate constantly beyond the body, mind, and senses, and consider continuously the primary questions of your life, like who am I? Why this suffering? What happens after the death of the body? Through meditation, you will receive answers, and you will feel, through meditation, eternal peace, eternal enjoyment. No external answer will satisfy you. Just trust, just meditate, and receive the answers from your own soul. Any questions about this? You know, these truths, even these statements from the Katha Upanishad, they're just supposed to be touch the edge of your mind. It's not something that your mind can figure out or understand. Even if you don't remember one word that I say tonight. It happened to us, Dharmadev and myself. Raise your hand, Dharmadev. This is Dharmadev. He's my friend and also my husband. Many years, but we often went home. We've been with Gurdjieff in this ashram since 1964, and with Gurdjieff since 1963. And we used to lose track of time and space. We came up every weekend, didn't miss any. And then we'd go home, and we were in high on meditation and the teachings. And 10 minutes would go by, we'd be driving, and Dharmadev would say, "Wasn't it wonderful, Gurdjieff's talk? Wasn't he amazing?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "The topic, wow." Time goes by, and we say, "Do you remember the topic?" He says, "No, I thought you did." I said, "I don't remember anything. I just know how I feel." But seeds were planted. That's what's happening here. These words will come back, and even more, the feeling will come back. How you're feeling, listening to a language you knew a long time ago. These are our own ancient teachings. We know everything that's being said, but we've forgotten because we've been covered over by wrong education, by wrong knowledge, by wrong identification, and it takes the intensity and the power of enlightened gurus and messages to wake us up to what we are and what we know. So, are there any questions related to this first reading? If you don't have any, it's because you don't remember anything. I'm glad I told you that. But sometimes something jumps out at you, something did for Steve, that you can relate to your own life, that makes sense for your own life. How many of you like listening to this, even though you may not have understood everything? You see, you liked it because it's your own language. You know this. It's like seeing an old movie that you loved but forgot. But little things that you see, you haven't seen a movie. Dharmadev, we saw White Nights the other night at a free library, starring, I'll see any old-timers in the group, Jean Marais and Maria Schell and Marcello Mastroianni. What a cast, huh? A Visconti film. And we know, we must have seen it. It's from what was it, 1938? Oh, 57, seemed like 38. But we must have seen it in 57 because it was familiar but brilliant. So, all right, we'll let that sprout slowly in you as seeds.